You know the saying, the key to life is being authentic? Once you learn to fake that, anything is possible? Well, that statement is only partly true. Being authentic is important. You can't fake it. Let me tell you why and show you some easy steps for how to be your authentic self in any relationship. Brene Brown has a favorite saying of mine: stand your sacred ground. This is where your authenticity lies. And by the end of this video, you will have the ability to show your real self in any situation. Trust me, it's possible. And trust me, you'll always fail. So you want to run through these steps whenever you fail to get better. And I got a story for you that's really recent from my life and how I failed and what I'm doing to use this so that I can show up authentically the next time. You know how when you go through a breakup in your life and you run into your ex and it can be awkward? That's kind of what happened to me. But I don't know where it is that you failed to show up. But you need to understand that within yourself. So the first thing that you want to do when you are moving into a situation that is difficult, or if you're surprised by a difficult situation, identify within yourself what is going on. Check in. Make sure you're showing up. Are you feeling, as you're standing in this situation, yourself either puffing up or diminishing? Are you reacting in a way that is not true to where you want to be? Are you discombobulated? Is your heart racing? Or is your blood pressure rising? What is happening that is making you not show up authentically? Identify it. When you can do that, you can start to take action. I was in a situation where I went to my recent daughter's graduation, and it was the first time since the process of my divorce had started and ended that I had had an opportunity to interact in a social situation with my ex and my children around. I felt awkward. I truly did as I walked up, and I knew I did, but I didn't really check in. I just kept plowing on because I was excited to see my daughter at her graduation and give her flowers and tell her how proud I was of her. I wasn't paying attention to myself. And as I got into the gathering of my ex's family and my children, I immediately began to lose myself in the expectations of what I felt they wanted from me, rather than just saying, here I am, let me be seen. Because I felt that there were some things that if they could see about me or if they recognized, they wouldn't want me there. And it made me uncomfortable. And I suspect that my ex was just as uncomfortable as me. It's a new situation, it's natural. But she was surrounded by people that were holding her space, and I felt like I had no one on my side there to support me, and it made me feel discombobulated. So, in order to build a better relationship, I needed to let go of the outcome that I wanted, which was for this to be an easy, fun, nice scenario where we interact, it's calm, it's cool, everybody's happy with me, I don't have anybody rolling their eyes or frustrated with what I said or what I did, all the things that run on through your mind, right? Unfortunately, that line of thinking is what gets us in trouble. I wasn't trying to be seen, I was trying to be seen well, not just as I am. I wanted to be in a winning situation at the end of this. And immediately, I felt myself diminish under the gaze of my ex, who was standing there and kindly offered to take a picture with my daughter, who was graduating, and me. And I felt so awkward because I wanted to control the outcome. I wanted this to be a good experience. I didn't want it to collapse. I didn't want it to spin out of control. I didn't want there to be fallout and bad things to happen because they didn't like something that I did. I was trying to keep myself as small a print in this moment as possible so I wasn't offensive. And in doing that, I think I became a little bit offensive because I was so nervous and awkward. I felt abrupt. I felt out of place. I wasn't really able to relax and be present with my daughter, whose graduation was. I was more concerned about the outcome than I was about her and being present and showing myself authentically. And it broke down. It was hard. It was embarrassing. I felt it. And I left that situation reflecting on how poorly I had demonstrated this very thing that I am coaching you on right now, and thinking, oh my goodness, I don't do this. I show up for real. I'm the man, right? This is the pump up talk in my head that I'm beating myself up with and not offering myself compassion in that moment, because I was frustrated that I had done that. I hadn't felt myself do that in a long time. And I know that we all have weak spots in our lives. For me, my weak spot is honestly in showing up in front of women that I want to have a relationship with, or I've had a relationship with in the past, and not letting them see me as I truly am, because I'm never sure if that's acceptable in my little world of psychosis, right? I don't know what your space is, but whatever it is, if you have a breakdown like I did, what I do is then I role play that scenario. I play it out again in my mind. And what I did is I looked at the moment I recognized I was starting to have a problem, I realized I should have stepped away, did some breath work, got myself grounded, back to my equilibrium, and then entered instead of charging ahead. That's the one thing. The next thing is setting my mindset up so that I picture, if I'm entering into a space where I think I'm not supported or I wish I had support, those that are around me that support me and sustain me as I am right now. And that would give me the courage to really just show up and be cool, because I was on my own. I was alone, except, to see my kids in this space. And I floundered. I literally just floundered. And then I play out all of these scenarios, and I role play the conversations that I had, that I remember, where I said or did things that I was like, why did I do that? I'm so frustrated. I play it out again, and when I get to that space, I imagine the emotion that I felt within my heart that made me choose a less authentic path than the one that I could have naturally taken. And I say the words in my mind, and I play out the actions in my mind that would lead me toward that authentic path. And I imagine doing it over and over again until it becomes like rote, so that I can be prepared the next time I encounter a situation like that. I want to be prepared so that I can meet it with authenticity. Because we don't every time. We fail. Now that I'm aware of it, I am looking into my failings. Why was I doing that? What was I looking for that allowed me to diminish myself in such a small way and show up so poorly? I dig into that because it's my failing, and I give myself compassion for doing it, so I can look at this without self-loathing and judgment and just simply say, oops, I didn't do it the way I wanted to do it that time. And in doing that, I looked and I saw that the image of who I believe my ex wishes me to be and who I am are different. And I tried to take who I am and put it into the space that I think she wants me to be, and how she wants me to show up for the moment that I was there, to keep it an easy, calm interaction. Probably the worst thing I could have done, because now I'm trying to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm feeling frustrated that I have to do this. I'm feeling defensive because I'm not enough. I'm feeling insecure. All of these things come up and make me a less pleasant person to be around because I'm not being authentic. And I looked at that and I realized all of this was a projection of my own internal beliefs about what I thought was going on. Whether it's real or not is irrelevant, because the truth is, I've been doing really good about showing up in front of people, and I have met many, many women who they're not into who I am or what I do or how I move. And I show up, and when they're not into it, I don't care. That's their issue. It's not mine. But I was trying to make how she felt about me my issue. It's not something I have control over. It's not something I should waste any time with. It is not authentic behavior. And that was the core failing that I had in that moment. And when I recognized that, I realized, man, the next time I meet her, I'm going to show up. I can do this. I know how not to diminish myself. And I think that that's a great discovery for me. Now, you can take this same process in whatever way that you feel that you don't show up. If that's in the boardroom at work, when you are asked, what's your opinion about this idea? Do you withdraw and retreat? Or do you get angry? This is ridiculous. I can't do this. I can't. Or do you settle into your true nuanced feeling and say, hey, this is what I see. This is what I think we can do. And this is how we're going to move and show up authentically. I don't know. Or is it perhaps in a relationship with a loved one? Or is it with your buddies? Or wherever it may be that you feel like you show up weak? Run through this. I think it'll help you. It's helped me. So if that works for you, I'd love to know if you have other ways of making yourself be authentic in situations where you tend to pull away and retreat. I'd love to hear that. Make some comments below. And stick around for this next video that you might want to watch. It's called How to Feel Worthy of Love and What Ended My Marriage. It's coming up right now. I'm James Burnham. Thanks for hanging out. Like and follow, subscribe. I want to hear your comments.